Hi friends, it's Auntie Cuckoo. Valentine's Day is around the corner, so I'm sharing all kinds of inspiration in today's video. We're doing some DIY, some decorating, and some baking. I love Valentine's Day. I've been decorating for it for years, and today I'm going to show you how I make everything, put it together, and we're going to do some baking. But first, we're starting with a DIY. These are mini faux lollipops. Now you guys may be familiar with my larger lollipop video that I have shared years ago. Today we're making a miniature version. All you need are some hair rollers from the Dollar Tree. Now you can make them with the thinner rollers or the thicker, it's up to you. What you're going to want to do is remove these little tabs from the ends of your curlers. Basically that's going to allow us to hook them together, and having that metal in the center really helps things to take shape. Now I will recommend using a low temperature glue gun and adding just a small amount right in the center and then sliding your foam rollers over top. Then be sure to hold them together until it is fully dried. Next up, I added some washi tape. Now, washi tape, where did that all go? That trend that hit hard. Now, not all washi tape is made equally. The one I'm using is actually a fabric, and I do recommend that. The plastic one doesn't stay in place as well, but you can use all kinds of things. I'm going to show you a ribbon version as well. Now, whether you're using washi tape or maybe some masking tape or decorative tape or ribbon, you're going to do the same thing, and that is roll it onto your roller just by turning it and striping it. Now, I will recommend lots of stripes. I did make a few with fewer, and they were just not as cute. So learn from my mistake. Once your roller is fully covered in stripes, go ahead and start shaping it. Now, this is why I really like the fact that the rollers have a metal insert. I really think that this helped with keeping the shape, and what I did is went ahead and rolled it into the correct shape and then unrolled it and started adding some glue. Now be sure you're using just a tiny bit of glue and a low temperature hot glue gun, because as you can see, once you add any kind of hot glue to the foam, it is going to melt. So you're going to want to hold that in place until it fully dries. The success for this is solely based on patience to hold it in place while it dries or at least sets up. Then you can just take another section, add another little bit of glue, and then you can secure the end with more glue. Now the good news is you won't have to hold this forever until it is fully dry. Go ahead and grab some elastics, hair ties, or hair bands and use them on your lollipop to hold it in place. I recommend actually doing this maybe in the evening, leaving it to set up overnight. Since these are smaller, you can go ahead now and add the stick to your lollipop. I just took some scissors and I made sort of an X cut right at the base where I joined the roller to itself. I added a generous amount of low temperature hot glue. I am reusing a stick from a failed lollipop, so you'll see some green on there. And you can use any colors you want for this. For this one, I used the thinner rollers. I did connect 3 of them in total, and I added some rickrack. I think this turned out really, really cute. Now, there is one problem I want to walk you guys through before we move on to another DIY, decorating and or baking, is you can get a blowout right here where you join together your rollers. They can occasionally lose shape when you are rolling your lollipop. Now, if that happens, just add a little bit of hot glue. Grab your ribbon, your rickrack, whatever you're using, and go ahead and use it as almost like a bandage, hot gluing it in place. It will just add another layer, and I'm telling you, you won't notice once you've got it all rolled up anyways. Once I was done, I went ahead and added some clear cello wrap from the Dollar Tree and some bows. I love these. I think that they are going to be great even during Christmas. So now on to our next DIY. You guys know I have been making faux foods for a long time. I have been looking for this cup from Dollar Tree for a while. I finally came across it and I wanted to make this to share with you guys. This is one of my favorite colors for faux foods. It is by Americana and it is called Bittersweet Chocolate. It is a very dark brown. You could use whatever color you want. Now I did babysit this a while and made sure that there were no gaps and just added paint where I needed to overnight, let it dry. Now we're making the topper. For this, I'm using some cardboard that I cut out to match the top of my cup. And to add some height, I went ahead and hot glued on part of a K-cup that I made my morning coffee with. Now we're actually doing some construction around the house, so I am using joint compound. I went to go use my Dollar Tree spackle and it was actually moldy, so I went ahead and grabbed some lightweight joint compound from our project in the other room. Now I love these. These are just extra berries that fell off my Christmas tree, and I might have a Christmas tree still up in my house. Don't judge me. Something I'm always on the lookout for are things I can use as sprinkles from the Dollar Tree, and I was so happy when I found this set of little toothpicks. They are plastic. I used my scissors at first and realized I could just easily snap off the hearts at the top to make my sprinkles. Now, because I did use joint compound, it's a little darker than the lightweight spackle, which is no problem. I just decided to go ahead and paint my faux whipped cream white, which actually made it perfect for sticking on my sprinkles right onto my faux whipped cream. Now, I will say I let it dry for probably 6 hours outside in the sun before painting it so it didn't get mushy or anything, and the paint really does help the sprinkles stick on. Then you just top your cup with anything you want. I added a little straw and I did add my cherry with some hot glue, and now I have the perfect, I'm calling it pudding because I'm a big fan of pudding. Now I do want to mention another option if you don't like the bright colors of those sprinkles, and that is these skewers with little wooden hearts on top. They are so cute. Now that I have my DIYs all knocked out, I want to show you guys what I picked up for my little display. Lots of treats. I like to pick them up from the Dollar Tree. I even found these. I was going to do this at Christmas. I ran out of time. You know how it is. Those are those little skewers. I got some chocolates from the Dollar Tree, and I actually found lollipops at Ross. Very affordable for $3. I picked up some faux buns. These are from Hobby Lobby and they were 50% off. So they were like $2.50 for all three. I stopped into Walmart and I did pick up this really yummy essential oil. And I also found this little beaded piece for just $2. So you're going to be seeing that in our display. I opened up my tub and I have an entire tub of Valentine's decor. Lots of things that I've made over the years, picked up on clearance, found in Target Dollar Spot, or even from the Dollar Tree, and tons of DIYs like these hearts. I've made so many of my things over the years. Now I have tons of videos on Valentine's Day. I'll have a playlist linked for you guys so you can see how I've decorated through the years. This is the first time I'm decorating in our new home, so I'm starting with the kitchen. There'll be more that I'll be sharing as the month moves on. These are more DIYs. Oh man, remember when I made these from those Dollar Tree hearts? I don't even have those anymore. And these, I always get asked about my faux treats. I made a bunch of them 2 years ago, and all these cupcakes and this cake are from 5 or 6 years ago. So I will have that linked for you guys if you're interested in how I made those. Lots of little heart dishes that I've just collected. Things like erasers from the Dollar Spot. I love the Dollar Spot. They had these vases out for Christmas and I immediately thought of Valentine's Day. So now let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and clean off this end of my counter. Now I've never had an island before, so I'm getting used to the use of it, and I don't have a hutch anymore. So I kind of use it as my little display area for the holidays. Now during Christmas, I did have a miniature tree over here. And before that for fall, I did a tiered tray of sorts. And now I'm actually going to use some crates that I have. Sometimes I use signs that are for, decor as height builders in my displays, and that's okay. But this time I am going to use the crates that I have on hand. These are actually old Dollar Spot wooden crates for Christmas. They were $3 a piece, probably 5 years ago. I'm also using my little gumball machine from the Dollar Spot that I filled with conversation hearts. Remember, when you're filling things, to go ahead and use your paper towel rolls down the center so you can use less of whatever you buy to fill them. I also am using my little cart from the Target Dollar Spot in my display. Now, I love to use cookie cutters for Valentine's Day and Christmas in my decorating. So on the bottom of my little cart, I am using some cookie cutters. I'm also using a little love sign that I found at a grocery store. But you guys know I took you shopping to Hobby Lobby, and they have tons of that type of small sign for any kind of displays. So I'll link that video for you guys as well. These little macaroons are actually keychains that my daughter had once upon a time. I'm using my vases from Target Dollar Spot, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop that little wooden beaded piece right on top of one of them. That's where I'm going to be using my lollipops that we DIY'd first, and a little Valentine puppy. It looks just like our dog Poco, and it's actually from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. a miniature Valentine, and a Hobby Lobby mug from Christmas with a topper I made, I don't know, a couple years ago. So this was a Christmas topper, but you can't tell, it just has cinnamon on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it here. More faux treats that I DIY'd. A couple years back, I made a whole video on faux treats, and I will have that in the description if you want to see how I made some of my older treats. Now this is a ribbon garland I made from scrap ribbon. That was way back when I had a bow business. I have been a jack of all trades my whole life. Now on top of my larger crate, I am going to add this little sign that was actually, I think, a Halloween sign. Just says sweet as sugar. I'm using one of my little heart wooden pieces, and then I'm just gonna stick another cookie cutter just in here for another heart shape. Now I'm using my Dollar Spot cake pedestal with a thrifted cookie jar on top. And remember this from Christmas in the Dollar Spot. I'm just gonna flip it around so you can't tell that it's from Mrs. Claus Bakery. I'm gonna use it to display some of the cupcakes that I made a long time ago. Can you believe they were one of the first DIYs I ever made on my channel? And gosh, that was like 5 or 6 years ago. They've held up really well, and I always look forward to displaying them during different holidays. Now back here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add in a sign that says kisses for 25 cents. And more DIYs. I made these little hearts and decoupaged on some fabric a couple years back. I used them before to hang on a Valentine tree that I made. This time I'm gonna stick them in and make them look like cookies in our little treat display. Always remember to reuse your things from Christmas if they are red and generic, or even things from Halloween like this little love potion bottle that I just filled with hearts. It was just something I found after Halloween on clearance. Now I'm using my little mixing bowl from the Dollar Spot, filling it up with some extra decor just for some height, and adding these foam hearts that I DIY'd from the Dollar Tree a few years back, and some more DIYs. I actually filled these little hearts that were washcloths from the Dollar Tree. I use them every year, and I'm adding some more little hearts back here into my little mixing bowl. Now this is a Dollar Spot jar. I added some candy from the Dollar Tree too. And my display is finished with my little treats up front. I am so happy with how it turned out. I think it looks like a magical Valentine treat shop, and I'm in love with my new additions to my treat shop. I love this little topper, and I'll probably reuse the cup at Christmas and during other times that I use my faux treats, and just make different toppers for them. I'm even thinking of doing some for the 4th of July, maybe do a little flag on top and then just reuse the glass. Now I know many of you are familiar with my DIYs. If you'd like to see more, please let me know in the comments below. I always love to hear what you guys are interested in seeing. I do love the fact that I was able to add some little faux hearts and make this a Valentine cake. It is one that I made a long time ago, and I've shared that with you guys as well. So now that this portion of the kitchen is all decorated, let's turn our attention to the other side of the kitchen where, I've started decorating. I added my dish towels, and that's a good beginning, but I have this whole coffee bar area. It's looking a little sparse. I did add some of my different decor pieces, but I really wanted to make it look like a treat heaven. So I went ahead and whipped up some cookie dough and filled my ramekins, popped them in the oven. Now I'm gonna tackle some projects that I wanted to finish for Christmas and ran out of time. So I am coating these pretzels. They're just rods in some melting chocolate I picked up from Walmart, and then using my sprinkles. These are all Christmas items. This is actually peppermint flavored melting chocolate. One reason I love Valentine's Day is I feel like it's a do-over of Christmas. You can get to some of the things with a different twist that you had planned for Christmas, like these little pretzels. Now, something that I have been doing for years when my kids were little is reusing our miniature candy canes. I always have a ton of these on hand. I don't necessarily want the kids gobbling them all up, but they do make precious little heart lollipops, perfect for Valentine's Day. So if you still have them around, you may want to grab some melting chocolate. I thought using this little bottle from the Dollar Tree would be helpful. It wasn't. Skip that altogether and go with the second way I'm going to show you to fill them with a good old-fashioned spoon. You just spoon in some melted chocolate in the center. I am reusing some more of those little heart-tipped skewers from the Dollar Tree as my little lollipop canes, and then I'm adding some sprinkles These are so cute. I love how they turned out. So I decided to just stack everything and make a Valentine treat charcuterie board. And the only thing on it that I didn't make are the cupcakes, which I found at Wally World. Now, I think these lollipops would make great little gifts for your little ones. One reason I wanted to do this is when I was a little kid, my mom always made us our very own little container full of her homemade chocolate chip cookies. It was the absolute best, and it didn't take much time or money to do. So just remember, it's the simple things that make our celebrations special, and they are the things that we really will remember for years to come. And I think you'll agree with me that now my coffee bar looks really festive for Valentine's Day. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing all of my DIYs and my different decorating ideas of how to stack things and put them together. I really wanted to bring you guys a little bit of inspiration in a few different forms, from DIYs to decorating and even some baking. Comment down below and let me know, what is your favorite treat for Valentine's Day? Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you back very soon.